Welcome to another episode of Nigerians to the World. And we are still in the Asian continent. And we'll be speaking to Faith Fatokun, a Nigerian living in Malaysia. And I'm your host, Kcee Udonsi. Hello, Faith. Welcome to the show, and how are you doing?
Hi, Kcee. I'm fine. Thank you so much. How are you doing as well?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Okay, so
Uh,
this is the show where you'll be sharing an experience and your journey of what it is like being a Nigerian living in Malaysia. So, would like you to first of all tell us which part of Nigeria you are from, and also introduce yourself.
okay. Actually, I'm from Oyo State. Oyo State, yeah, that's the southwest, close to Lagos, from Nigeria. And my name is Faith Fatokun Bolu So actually, but people fondly call me Bolu because of the YouTube channel, which is Explore with Bolu. Yeah. So you can call me Bolu, you can call me Faith. Anyone is okay.
Okay, welcome to the show. And now you've told us about yourself, your name, and which part of Nigeria you are from. Would also like to talk about a little bit the schools you attended here in Nigeria.
Okay. Actually, I should I start from undergraduate? Undergraduate, right?
Yes.
Okay. I did my undergraduate in computer science and information technology at Federal University Jusima in Katsina State. Yeah. I think that's the only one I did. Then I served in Sokoto State, also in the northwest part of Nigeria. Yeah, before I came to Malaysia. I actually started my master's in Malaysia. Yes.
Wow, that is pretty interesting. Okay, so now we are going into the interesting part of the show. Okay, tell us your story. How did you end up in Malaysia?
Okay, my story is very, will I say complicated? I don't know, but let me just start from somewhere. So actually, I didn't plan to come to Malaysia at all. Like, it wasn't in my mind at all, because I didn't really know much about Malaysia, to be sincere. There was no so much advertisement or information about Malaysia, unlike UK, US, and the European countries. Okay, and also Australia was also popular then. But actually, the first time I began to like have the idea of coming to Malaysia, not really coming, but at least a kind of picture of Malaysia was when I went to a conference, an international conference at Abuja. That was 2017, I think the same 2017, around January, I think. So I went for that conference there, and in the conference, there were some people from Malaysia, I think, two people like that. So actually, they gave some presentations from the industry, basically. I was like, okay. But I was not still really interested in it. I was applying to UK. I already got admissions. Even at that time in UK for the masters and all that, I got some partial scholarships like that. Of course, UK is still very expensive anyways. So along the line, I was still preparing and making a decision of where to go to. I also applied to Netherlands and some of these European countries. My mind was totally off Malaysia or even Asian countries, although I love Asia somehow, but I was not really exposed to the kind of education they have there and, how it is for foreigners. So I came out of that conference during the break time, like, we usually have the tea time during those international conferences. So when I came out, I saw a kind of stand, where normally if you go to a conference, they have all these stands where they like advertise things and all that.
Yeah.
So again, I saw something about Malaysia. I'm like, are you sure this is not divine call? Are you sure this is not God saying something? So I went there, and then these ones were like advertising some things, about education in Malaysia. They gave me a flyer. I was not really interested because I think that one was not even for my level, you understand? Because I was planning to go for postgraduate. So that one was more like people that were like maybe coming for diploma or stuff like that. So I just took it and left. Then I forgot about Malaysia. I was still preparing maybe UK or Europe. Then after like 2 months, I now got reunited to my old school, like secondary school group. You understand? So they gave me invites to join a WhatsApp group. They wanted to reunite, and all that. So I joined the group, and then when I joined that group, I was just, just normal scrolling through the contacts and all that. And then, because these are my old friends. So I saw plus one. I know that's US. I
Yeah.
didn't really bother. I saw other foreign countries, numbers there, Russia. I didn't bother. Then I now saw plus 60. But I didn't have idea of Malaysia. I don't even know the code, of the Malaysia phone number and all that. So I saw plus 60. So I just got interested. Like, okay, let me even contact this person. Okay, I saw that it was one of my friends when I saw his face. So I contacted him, like, hi, how are you? Which country are you? So he mentioned that he's in Malaysia. I'm like, wow, okay. He came for his undergraduate actually here in Malaysia. So that got me a little bit interested. So I began to ask questions about Malaysia, how they treat foreigners, and then is it possible to actually do a good postgraduate program there, especially masters at that time? And he was like, yes, it's a good place. He gave me some of the plus and minus, the pro and cons, and I'm like, okay. So from there, I got interested in Malaysia, and my mind started drifting away from the other places to actually know more about Malaysia. So I went online after that, that incident. I went online and I began to check about Malaysia, browse about their schools, and I said, wow, it's actually a beautiful place. I saw that they were quite developed to a large extent. It's a developing country anyway. So I said, okay, let me try. And that was how I applied to the university. And yeah, that was how I landed in Malaysia in 2017, around August 2017. That was when I came to Malaysia for my master's program at University Malaya. The University Malaya is actually the best university in Malaysia. Actually, that one also was something that happened because I was, based on discussion with my friends, I was actually planning to go to a different university, based on his own, information that he gave me. But along the line, I got to know about this University Malaya, and somebody told me that why don't I just try? Because that was like the best university in Malaysia, still the best up to now. So I applied reluctantly, and luckily I got the admission. So that was how I came to Malaysia. Let me just cut the story. Long story short.
Sure. That is interesting and an amazing story of your journey and how you were able to make researches and as well ended up in Malaysia. Now you talked about that before you moved there, you tried to learn few things about Malaysia. So can you kind of share one of the few things you learned in that process?
Yeah. Okay. Nothing really much. I tried to find out about their culture. Then, because that's very important. If you are going to a new country, you need to know their culture. Then also, I try to find out about the educational quality. Normally, those of us from Africa, most times we want to go to UK because we feel like UK is, very high in quality, at the top when it comes to education. And then, so yeah, educational quality was very important for me. And then I also tried to find out their language barriers. They speak English because some of these countries also, especially in Asia, like you need to learn their language first and all that. So I saw that they actually teach in English language. So I gave it an option. Yeah, I did not really check anything about the food. That's very funny because I later got to fall in love with their food, but at that time I didn't check about the food. Everything what was in my mind was like, okay, let me get a good school, let me just come and all that. So those were basically the factors I was looking at. Yeah.
Okay, so in the later part of this interview, we'll talk about the custom of the people in Malaysia and also the food. But before that, okay, what do you love about Malaysia? You've been there now, from your story, you've been there since 2017, right?
Yes.
So now, what do you love about Malaysia?
Yeah, wow. There are a lot of things lovable about Malaysia from a neutral point of view, especially for a foreigner let me start by saying that the people here are very loving. To be sincere, Malaysians are actually loving people, naturally. At least I can say 75% of them actually accept you as a foreigner, regardless of your race, regardless of your religion, regardless of your color. Okay, that's one. Of course, there are some mites, people will say, okay, like maybe they don't like African and all those kind of things. But I think it just depends on personal opinion, you understand, and the way you also present yourself to them. Because for me, it has been on the good side for me. They're actually very loving. They want to know you, they like making new friends, especially with foreigners, you understand. So that is one. And then two, the second thing I like about them, actually, they are very helpful. They are very kind. Like I learned this a lot from my supervisor during my master's program. They are just kind and down to earth. You understand? Also here, it's totally different. Like the educational system here is totally different from what you have in Nigeria or maybe other part of Africa. But I will speak for Nigeria basically. Here, the relationship between students and lecturer is just like peer. It's like friends. You understand? Yeah, because it's not, what we are used to back then is like the lecturer is this kind of, God and all those kind of things. Here, it's not like that. You can feel free, you can even go and, eat together, makan, all those kind of things. And then in the class is just so smooth and so sweet. So I think they have a good relationship, yeah, in Malaysia. They have a very good human relationship and they are very patient also, with you. They are very patient with you. Most of them, definitely not all, but at least most of them are very patient with you. Also, I will not do right if I don't give credit to the food in Malaysia. Even though you said we'll talk about it later, but I think Malaysia food is really nice. I learned to love it. You understand? Of course, I started exploring. I decided to start exploring Malaysia in 2019. Okay, that was when I've gone far in my master's program, or almost finishing. So I tried their foods, and yeah, it's really good. They have variety of food, okay, different choices that you can actually choose from when it comes to food. And then also, I think another thing I love about Malaysia is that they have a lot of development. You understand? Like it's a developing country, but they have so many great, beautiful infrastructures. Very tall buildings. There are a lot of tall buildings here, skyscraper buildings in Malaysia. They even have one of the tallest buildings in the world, which is the Twin Tower. Yes, Petronas Twin Tower. At a point, it was actually the tallest, but now I think it's like maybe fourth or fifth, like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's still a very iconic structure here in Malaysia and in the world. Then they have a lot of resorts, they have beaches, so many beaches. They have, recreational centers. And the funny thing about it, or the good thing about it, is that most of these places are actually free. You see, you don't need to even spend so much, so much money on it. You understand? So
Yes.
that is one thing that is really, really great, if you ask me. Also, I think another thing I would love to say about Malaysia, which is quite good, is the fact that I can actually do my research here if I want for 24 hours because there's electricity non-stop. You understand?
There's no NEPA there.
Nothing like NEPA. Nothing like NEPA. They have light here non-stop. You understand? They have all the basic amenities human beings should have. You understand? They have water, good water. They have good roads. The roads are very good. They have different transportation systems. So it's a country you just have to fall in love with, even though maybe there may be some other factors that people may say, but to me, I think those factors are so minimal compared to what they're actually going to benefit, especially if you're coming here for study or maybe work or something like that. So yeah, they have gone far when it comes to development, and they are still developing. They are still developing. Every day construction is going on in Malaysia. So it's a conducive place to live, if you ask me. Yeah.
That is pretty interesting. You talked more about the people, how they relate with you a lot. Okay. Now, let us go back to 2017, okay? When you first moved there, okay, what were the people like?
Yeah. I will not be biased here. Actually, when I first moved in 2017, to be sincere, and which I think is the same thing every foreigner will face. Maybe I will not generalize foreigners, let me say Africans or the black person.
Okay.
One thing I noticed with Malaysians, if you don't go close to them, most times, especially the public, if they don't know you, like maybe because I'm a YouTuber or whatever, if you don't go close to them, they may never, like speak to you. You understand? They are very reserved. And it's not maybe because of pride or something. Initially, I was thinking maybe it's racism, at that stage, that was what I was thinking. But later along the line, I began to understand that actually it wasn't really racism. Maybe not racism in all cases. You understand? That is, they are built up. They are not like Nigerians. Nigerians, Africans in general, we are very vocal. We can easily catch up.
Yes.
With new people. You understand? But here it's not like that. It's not like that. It's like here you have to nurture the baby. Like you are building a relationship from ground. That is their build up. So they are very reserved set of people. I think maybe this one, maybe it's a cultural thing, and it could also be based on the religion. Majority of people here are Islam, they are Muslims, so they are quite reserved to a large extent. You understand? But yeah, that was one of the misconceptions I had about them. I felt they were not really friendly. Like you are just, for example, maybe you are in the school and then you are walking to class or something, and you want to talk to a Malaysian. Before you know it, they are very fast. You understand? They walk very fast ahead of you. Like, I'm like, all this. You understand? And in the train, everybody's on his own. If you don't talk, nobody will talk to you. It's not like Nigeria now that you can anybody can initiate the discussion. But here, they will not initiate it. You have to start. And then when I started noticing that after some months, it took me quite some months or even almost a year to actually adjust to them. Even when I was having classes, because then I did a mixed mood master. So I had some courses, some classes. If you don't talk to them, they will also walk away, after the class. So I started talking to them. I started getting to know more about them. And I saw that, okay, it's just maybe a cultural kind of thing. Yeah. So, and then the food also. I remember that one of my very funny first experience was the food. I didn't know much about their food. In fact, I didn't, like I told you, I did not research about the food. So that was my bad. So coming here the next day, of course, I needed to get something to eat when I went to the school to do my registration. So then I noticed that the food, it looked so nice. It was red, the sauce. I wanted to eat rice. So I was thinking that it's like Nigerian stew. So I said, okay, I just put the thing, in on the rice and put chicken and all that, not knowing that this food was very sugary, the sauce. So I went to sit down and eat, and then I said, what? Very sugary, But they have different kinds of food as well. So you need to understand which one you want. Then I started learning about the food. So I saw that, okay, they also have very nice ones that were not sugary and all that. So it's just little culture shock, I think I could say that I had at that first stage. But I've overcome that, of course, along the line, yes.
Sure. Nigeria will do the carry last.
I will do the carry last.
Okay, so thank you for sharing with us some of your biggest adjustments, as you moved to Malaysia in 2017. Let us also talk about your Nigerian origin, okay? I understand that when you first moved there, it was difficult, to have conversations with them. Okay, so what are some of the reactions you get when they discover that you are from Nigeria? What are some of those reactions? And does it also in any way open doors for you?
Well, let me say, to be realistic, some of them, I'm speaking basically for my own self, okay? Some of them don't really care. Some of them are they just accept you like that. Of course, while some of them also based on the perception they have about Nigerians, okay, or Africa. And let me not generalize Africans, but yeah, they have the kind of bad, some of them have a kind of bad perception about Nigerians based on what some of the Nigerians actually, do here. You understand? If we need to be sincere, some of them. Okay, so that said, actually, it affects the relationship sometimes. If they say, "Where are you from?" and they love asking that question, like, "Where are you from?" You say Nigeria. Okay, let me say 80% will be like, "Oh wow, Nigeria, I love the football." There are positive sides as well. They love our football a lot. They love our football. So most of the responses I've had is like, "Oh wow, Nigeria, I love the football, Super Eagles, this and that." I'm like, okay. So that brings some favor, you understand? Like they want to talk more with you, and all that. But also some of them that are very like narrow-minded, when you say Nigeria, maybe because of what they have had in the news or whatever, they'll be like, "Oh, Nigeria." They will not say anything bad, but their reaction, you will know that they don't want to have anything to do with you as well. So, but that's just a very minimal proportion, okay, of the population. For me, most of them are very accepting and they just want to be friends with me. And even though I don't tell them I'm from Nigeria, I have had cases where Malaysians have bought food for me free of charge without me even knowing. Like, let's say I went to a restaurant, I want to eat, and I already ordered the food. So, I will pay after I eat, right? Just going to the counter, they'll be like, "Somebody already paid for you." I'm like, "Really?" Well, I don't know. Like they are, like I told you earlier, they are naturally friendly. Okay, they are good people, and if you are sincere, I think they will accept you with open arms. That's what I can say. I think it's high time we as Nigerians also stop like degrading ourselves and then always complaining like, "Okay, these people, they don't like Africa, they don't like Nigeria, this and that." No, we can change it. We can actually change the narrative. I like what you are doing because this you are doing also, will also educate the people out there, especially foreigners that may watch this video, that actually it's not all they see in the media that actually happens, or even if it happens, it's just a little proportion. There are a lot of people in Nigeria, there are a lot of people in Africa, so it's just a small proportion that may be the bad eggs. So yeah, I think that's what I can say about that.
Most of the times when foreigners hear the name Nigeria, what comes into their mind is scam, and they don't even understand or know that the people who are into these kind of schemes are not even up to 1% of our population. Our population is over 200 million, and then just few people who are not even a handful, are kind of denting the image of so many people who are good Nigerians, okay, who are working hard to make a good name for themselves and also for the country. Okay, thank you also for sharing that with us. It's interesting. Okay, now you've talked about the population and then their religion, that the majority of Malaysians are Muslims. So now I would also want you to talk about a little bit how diverse is their population.
How diverse is the population? Okay.
Yes.
Let me reverse back a little bit. When I said the majority are Muslims, actually yes, it's correct, but it's still like I think around 60-something%, something like that, because they still have other religions. Okay, so Malaysia is quite a diversified country. They are majorly split into three. Okay, that is the Malay. The Malays are the ones that are naturally Muslims, okay, Islam. Then the Malay, and they claim to be the main people of the soil. But of course, in Malaysia, you don't say something like that. In Malaysia, you say Satu Malaysia, which means one Malaysia. Satu is one. So they take themselves all as one. Then after Malay, we have the Chinese. We call them Chinese Malaysian, okay, Malaysian Chinese. These ones, they have their origin from the Chinese people that actually came to the country at the point in time, and maybe, add inter-country relationships and all that. Do you understand? Like family ties. And from there, of course, the offspring became big. You understand? So that's the Chinese Malaysian or Malaysian Chinese. Then we have the Indians. It's quite a very beautiful one. We have the Indians. Those ones, they call them Malaysian Indians. You understand? So the same thing, just as what happened to the Chinese, that's what happened also to some of the Indian maybe traders or people that came in, many years ago and you know joined with some of their Malaysian locals and married and gave birth to offspring, and those offspring continue like that too. So even from the facial look, you can see like the Indians also they actually look like real Indians somehow, but they are Malaysian blood. You understand? The difference is there. Then the Chinese, the same thing. Okay, they have that, um, you know, comportment as the real Chinese, but the difference is there, and they speak their languages as well. Like the Chinese Malaysians here, they speak Mandarin and some other Chinese language. The Indian also speak their own Indian language, Tamil and others as well. So it's a very beautiful culture. Then, but the good thing about them is that unlike Nigeria now, here all of them understand one language, which is Malay.
Wow.
All of them, whether in Indian, Malaysian, whether Chinese, Malaysian, they can all speak Malay fluently. So they teach Malay from their schools, you understand, from small. So this unites them. I think this is also a kind of uniting tool for them. Like Nigeria now, somebody can maybe somebody's Yoruba, cannot speak Igbo, you cannot speak Hausa, that kind of thing. And then we have so many languages that some people don't know what is Igbo, Hausa. It's just that in the front, we know that we have three main languages: Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo, right? So it's the same thing here, but here they have these three major ones and just a little more additions, maybe breakouts from the other states and all that. So yeah, diversity wise, they're actually well diversified, I would say, and they live together in peace and harmony. There are some places where you actually see the church, the mosque, and the temple. That brings me to religion. Yes, there's Islam, there's Christianity, and there's also the Chinese religion and Indian religion. Okay, that's they practice Hinduism, also they practice Buddhism. Here, the Chinese practice Buddhism, while the Indians practice Hinduism. Okay, but among that proportion, there are also Christians from both Chinese and Indians. You understand? So they have churches, they have mosques, they have temples. There are some places whereby you will see church here, mosques here in the same place, and everybody live together in peace. Church, mosque, temple, together.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So now, as an expatriate, okay, so as an expatriate, living in Malaysia, okay, what are the customs like? Like, what are the do's and the don'ts?
Wow. The first thing I would like to say is that, okay, this one, I don't know people that are watching the videos, but in Malaysia, you must follow their laws. Let me just say this because the law is so strong. So if we take the mentality of some places, I may not be able to mention here, but if you take the mentality of some places and come here, one will just land into trouble because the country is, they don't joke. They don't joke with the laws. The laws are, and the penalty is even what I want to say. The penalty for some things are so heavy. So the deterrent is so high that people are very careful, not to fall into that kind of thing. So you must obey their laws in everything, whether driving, whether in, like financial stuff and all that. You don't need to go into fraud and all that. Of course, there are people doing those things, but they say 99 days for the thief, 1 day for the owner, right? So
of course,
they are seeing where some people are being caught up, and it's really terrible. So if you are coming to Malaysia, just make sure you are coming as a clean person, and you abide by their laws. Then you will be so free in Malaysia. Okay. Then two, it's not good to overstay visa here. You overstay your visa in Malaysia. Malaysia is not like UK or US. I don't know how it's done in UK, but I know people hide in the US and some of those places. But it's not so easy like that here. The day they will get that person, it's a problem. You understand? So it's better to just stay here with a real visa and all that. Of course, like I said, there are still people that are here without those papers and all that, but they are not living like free life like that. You understand? Because the day they will just mistakenly come out like that, then the police can just stop them. Okay? So that's that. about that. Then another thing is because it's a Muslim populated country,
Yeah.
you have to understand some things. Yeah, the traditions may be different. Like I said initially, they are very reserved people. This one may not be because of religion, but of course, all of them are reserved like that. So they are very reserved people. Then also for the Muslim people, normally even in Nigeria, some of the Muslims, of course, Nigeria, I know that some Muslims girls they shake, right? While
Yeah.
some don't shake. But here, you shouldn't even give your hand. Once you see that the person is a Muslim wearing this thing, it's better you avoid that. You understand? It's better you avoid it because it's part of the cultural norms. You understand? Also, I think that's very important. Another thing is, let me think. What else are the cultural norms? Basically, it's related to the laws and all that. Just follow their laws, and everything will be okay. Okay, and then religious stuff as well. Then also, you need to be very careful. Don't They take religion very seriously here. They respect everybody's religion. Okay, so they don't joke with it. If you insult religion publicly, even if it's any religion you insult, could be the major religion or another religion, they can arrest you. You understand? They can just come and pick the person up. So you need to be very careful of your statements. Don't insult basically any religion. They say respect everybody's religion. So yeah, which is a good thing, of course. Why should somebody be insulting and that person's faith? Because if somebody insults your faith too, you won't be happy. So they take religion very, very sensitively here. Very sensitive. So if you are coming to Malaysia, you must be very careful about those kind of issues. Yeah. I think if I remember any other thing I would say, but I think for now that's some of the major things you need to take note of in Malaysia. The other things are just normal, general stuff, which may not really be like a serious do's or don'ts. You understand?
Yeah. Okay. Now, you talked about the custom. Okay. So I want us to go back a little bit about the food. And I love the way you helped to explain how diverse is the population. So I also want to talk about their food. How diverse is their food? And also, as an African, okay, how possible it is for you to walk into an African shop, or African store to get our Nigerian recipes or cuisine?
Okay, this is a very nice question. So with regards to food diversity is actually well diverse. Like I think Malaysia should be one of the most diversified countries when it comes to food tourism. They have a lot of tourism here, If you check YouTube, you see so many people reviewing Malaysian food. And yeah, because they have so many kinds of food, and the food industry in Malaysia is a booming one. The food and beverages industry, it's a booming one, you understand? See restaurants everywhere. It's not difficult to find a restaurant. It's so easy. Almost every corner of the road, there are restaurants. And the thing is that their culture here, the people here, they don't really cook like, how do I say? They don't really do like indoor cooking like we do back home, you understand?
Okay.
Many people here with families, complete families, they go out, they can go out for breakfast, lunch, dinner, like that. So yeah, that's the culture here. So food, you can get different foods, different varieties of food. And since Malaysia also has quite a number of internationals, foreigners, so you have the local delicacies, you have foreign delicacies as well. You understand? Western delicacies, different restaurants, like you have Arab restaurants, you have Malaysian restaurant, Malay restaurants, you even have the Chinese restaurants, like they have also diversity in their culture, right? So the same thing with food. So you have Chinese dominated restaurants, you have Indian restaurants, so you can find almost anything you want, when it comes to food. Then for Africa, food and items, yes, there are African stores. Of course, it's very limited, very, very limited, maybe one or two in a very big, you understand? So yeah, but there are, of course, you can get some African food stuff here as well. Definitely, it's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be cheap. Yeah, but you can. It's not an impossibility. I've reviewed an African food store before. So yeah, there's a restaurant that I know personally where you can get African food. And I heard that there are others as well, but I've not visited them yet. Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, it's not as diverse as you would expect it to be.
Okay. Okay. So there are limitations, to things you can get there as an expatriate, who want to try out your own Nigerian jollof rice, Okay.
Yeah. I
So
want to try Nigerian jollof rice now. I need to like go very far. Like
wow.
where I am now, it's not near at all. Exactly.
Okay.
Maybe 30 to 50. Yeah.
Okay. So now, as a Nigerian living in Malaysia, okay, which food, okay, would you recommend to people to try? For someone who is entering Malaysia for the first time, which kind of food or cuisine would you recommend to someone to give it a try?
Okay, I think I'll speak on my own what I like. But of
Yes.
course, normally if you come to Malaysia in general, they will always want you to try nasi lemak because Malaysia has a national food. Okay, they have a national food, just like we say jollof rice now. Even though I know that we are still fighting with is it Ghana or
Ghana, Cameroon. Ghana, Cameroon are always fighting with us about who cooks the best
jollof rice. Jollof rice. So, but Malaysia, they don't fight. They just have one they call nasi lemak. So nasi lemak is the national food here in Malaysia. You can also get nasi lemak in Singapore, but the original one you would get in Malaysia. You understand? Then for me, I like nasi kukus. Nasi kukus is very nice. Nasi kukus is very nice because of the sauce. I love the sauce and it's quite spicy. Yes. So nasi lemak, nasi kukus, very good. I would recommend you can try that. You will enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay. I know. In the course of your response, you talked about activities in Malaysia. But what are those interesting activities and events that you would want people to look out for, when they visit or relocate to Malaysia?
Okay. There are some of the activities that will interest you. I think, of course, you can go to Petronas Twin Tower. Petronas Twin Tower is like a tourism attraction in Malaysia here. That's where they have the very tall twin tower. The twin is two together, right? So these towers are like twins, two together and very nice, very tall. So within that place, they have the park. Okay, it's located within somewhere called KLCC. Okay, I think Kuala Lumpur Convention Center. So that place, they have the water park, they have relaxation place, halls. So it's very beautiful place in Malaysia. You don't want to miss that if you visit Malaysia. That's number one. Then that is in Kuala Lumpur. Then they have a very big mall in that place also, very big and very glamorous. Okay, you may want to check some of these videos. They are there online, and they are also published some as well. Then the other place you can go to is Genting Island. I have not been there, unfortunately, but I'm planning to go there very soon. I heard that it's very beautiful and it has a good weather compared to the general weather in Malaysia because, Malaysia's weather is very special. We experience rainfall almost every day. And then it's hot. Like it's Malaysia when rain is falling and you still feel heat, So if you're outside, so the weather is very funny. We don't have like cold season here like that. No, it's very rare. So yeah, that's Malaysia for you. So Genting Island is very good. It's like a resort park, resort area. They have cable rides. You can ride the cable, something, sky like that. And then they have so many beautiful things for children. Then they have strawberry, like this strawberry farm, butterfly farm. So many nice things there that you're going to see. Then, of course, every country should have a zoo, right? So they have their own zoo here as well with beautiful animals, Malaysian species, Malaysian lion, Malaysian tiger, call it Malayan tiger. So you can see all those animals. Very nice. One thing in Malaysia is they take care of animals very well. I forgot to mention that. You should not kill an animal. When I talk of animals, I mean like pets, right? Like a cat, like a dog. You can't, if you do that, you can be jailed. You understand? So you shouldn't touch an animal. So you can imagine those kind of people. That means they're going to have value, a lot of value for life. Because if they take care of animals like that, of course, they will value life more. You understand? So that's that. Then another place I would say you should visit is there's a place they call Malacca. Malacca. It's a it's a city, it's a state and a city, a small kind of state city like that. So it's very nice and it's a very neat state, one of the neatest states. Malaysia, even you see the road like this, like you're in the UK, some of those roads, you understand? And there's a lot of history there. It's like the history hub of Malaysia. So many things happened there. Okay. And finally, I would like to say that there are so many, I cannot exhaust the list of places. I myself, as an explorer, I still have so many. I've not even traveled to Qatar already yet, you know. So they have so many places. The thing is that in Malaysia, their tourism is so good, which I believe if any official in Nigeria is watching, they should think of, you know, making our own country also very nice like this. Like here, if you come for tourism, you will not lack content, you won't lack areas because every state, they have like 13 states. Every state has multiple, like a lot of tourist attractions. Every state, even a small city like this, there will be something there. It's either it's a water park or what do you call it, hiking center or something. You know, they have so many tourist places. So I cannot even tell you, like, if you tell me to list 100, I can list on this more than that. Yeah, so there are a lot of places, but these are the three I recommend. At least you should visit these ones before you go. Twin Tower, Petronas Twin Tower, Genting Island, then Malacca. The whole of Malacca is a whole cruise, you understand? And there's what they call Cameroon Island. That place, you will see where they make the farm, the tea farm. You understand? The tea farm where they make their tea. It's so beautiful, greeny area, Cameroon Island, yeah, in Malaysia. So those are some of the places I would recommend.
That's
numerous beaches, like I said. Yes, numerous beaches, a lot of water area. Yes, Alman Island, you know, Port Dixon, so many. I can't mention all.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
That is so interesting, you know. And what, you know, as a Nigerian, you know, Nigeria is big now with Afrobeats, okay, and yes, and also BTS, you know, from Korea, the K-pop, you know, they're also popping. So I want to know how big, you know, is our music, the Afrobeat in Malaysia.
Well, I cannot say much about that, but I am not sure it's really that big. To be sincere, I'm not sure it's really that big. So I think it's an opportunity for those who may want to venture into that. I doubt if Malaysians really, some of them know because some of them are actually interested in Nigerian stuff, you understand? So those ones definitely will know. But like what you are saying now is, for example, in some places, even if you're not interested, it's everywhere. You get that? I think that's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
So if it's that one, I don't think Malaysians know much about that yet.
Now you are a Nigerian living in Malaysia. What is the one thing, okay, that you would like to change about Nigeria?
Okay. Actually, the thing is that many people think that Malaysia's highest source of revenue comes from oil, but that's not true. That's not 100% true. Even though they have a lot of oil, they have palm oil and all that. They are among the largest exporters of palm oil in the world, if not the first or second. But actually, where they get most of the revenue from is from manufacturing.
Wow.
Manufacturing. Yes. So they actually encourage them, you understand? Like all these new startup businesses, you have it a lot in Malaysia. And let me tell you, it will surprise you to know that Malaysia actually has almost 3 or 4 vehicle manufacturing companies. Like everything is done here from beginning to the end. Standard cars. So vehicle is not even so expensive here in Malaysia. It's not that expensive if you want to buy the local one. And they promote it a lot. So for example, like they have the cars, it's called Proton. There's one they call Proton. There's one, I think, is it Myvi or something? Proton and some others that I may not be able to remember the name. Very nice cars of all kinds. Even if you want Jeep, of course, it will be far cheaper than you buying the Toyota or the other, foreign ones. There are also foreign cars here that are, imported into the country, but and they have some of their assembling grounds here, but they have their own manufacturing industries that start that operate from the start, from the scratch of the product till the very end of the product, which is quite encouraging, and that's what gives them a lot of revenue. You talk of what other industries, so many, even phones, they have, they manufacture their own phones. They have their own local phones that they manufacture, and then they have a lot of collaborations with other countries like China and some others. And they also have, what do you call it? Like a lot of businesses, they encourage small scale businesses. We call it SME, right?
Yes.
Small medium enterprise. Encourage them a lot here in Malaysia. You see, like all these food and beverages is one of the big like industry in Malaysia. You can prepare something, then you can make some cash in Malaysia because everybody wants to eat, at every time. So you will definitely see people that want to eat something. You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's good. If I were encouraged, I believe, I know some people will be expecting me to say something about electricity and all this, but I think we need to encourage our people also, especially those who are just starting, the small medium enterprises, need to encourage them, to support them, because if a country cannot manufacture something for themselves, then we'll keep on being slaves to other countries. You understand?
That is true.
On, depending on other people, which I think Malaysia is trying to conquer, and they are gradually conquering. So Nigerian, I hope we can support the small scale businesses. And of course, also there's a lot to learn from their leadership style here in Malaysia. Sorry, it's only one you asked for, but I think it will not be fair if I don't speak about this. There's a lot to learn from the leadership in Malaysia. I believe Nigeria will wake up as well, and we will get it right this time around. Nigerians understand what I'm saying. We are gradually getting to that hot period in Nigeria. So I hope that we get it right this time around. Because when we get it right, then we can have people that actually have the heart of the people. When you talk about electricity, it's not a big deal. Like, even when I was saying Malaysia, this is because our people are not doing what it is. Just now, light went off. You have to on gen, You can never hear gen sound anywhere here. The only places you will see gen is in big, like maybe some of these very big heavy duty companies and whatever. And they will use it for a specific purpose, not like they want to lighten the whole place. No, they have electricity already. So it's just like just to substitute maybe some big machineries or whatever. You understand? So these are some of the challenges that I think that Nigeria is facing that can learn from these people. And another funny thing is that this country and Nigeria, we are almost brothers. When I mean brothers, I mean we are almost age mates. I think it's just a few years. Nigeria is 1960. I think they are 1950 something. Just maybe 2 years or 3 years difference. So I think we're supposed to be in the same level by now. If we are getting it right. So yeah, if leadership is good, then all the other things will definitely be on the right track. Issue of electricity will not be there.
A quick one. Okay. What is also one thing one truth that you want to put out there about Nigerians that people have the negative impression about us? What is that one truth that you would like to say about Nigerians?
Okay, the one truth I would like to say about Nigerians sincerely is that not all Nigerians are fraudsters. Not all Nigerians are scammers, because that one, everybody feel that Nigerians are scammers, they are this, they are that. It's very wrong. Yeah, African prince. It's a very wrong impression, because to be sincere, 90% at least of Nigerians are very loving and welcoming. Just a little proportion that are disturbing the whole place. And I believe that if we have good leadership, all those things will also, nobody will even know about those things again. So if you are thinking Nigerians are scammers, they are fraudsters, they are this and that, they are bad people, they are lousy or whatever, it's not true. It's not true. There are many Nigerians who are reasonable and they love peace. So please change your mindset about Nigerians. because we are loving people and one of the most, accommodating people in the world.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bolu. You have really, touched on so many aspects in this show. Okay. So lastly, okay, yeah, what is one piece of advice you would give to anyone, okay, who is thinking of relocating to Malaysia, or probably kind of wants to go there for vacation? Because you've mentioned loads of tourist attractions, that wants to go there for maybe vacation, honeymoon. What is that advice you would give to that person?
Okay. Majorly, if you are coming here legally, the only advice I'll give you is, to abide by their laws. Don't argue with the law enforcement agents here, because it's also a crime. Okay, so just follow things peacefully, and you'll be fine. Once you are valid in Malaysia, forget about it. Nobody will disturb you. Nobody will disturb you. So once you are coming here, try to respect their culture, try to respect their religious diversities as well. That's very important. Okay. Even if it's not what is your taste, just respect them, because you're in another man's country, right? So you cannot claim to say this and that. No. You have to follow what is the rules and regulations of this country. Once you follow the rules and regulations, you'll be fine. Malaysians are loving people, they are welcoming, very great people I've met. So yeah, you'll be very fine.
Thank you so much, for obliging to be on this show. I know.
Thank you, my pleasure.
I know you also had a fun, giving us this great insight about Malaysia. So Faith Fatokun also has a YouTube channel, okay, where he also talks about Malaysia, where he also explores these tourist attractions that he mentions as in the course of this interview or show. So I will also leave a link in the description where you can also go and check out his YouTube channel. Okay. So Faith, so this is what I always do with my guests. As we close, we want you to teach us how to say goodbye in Malay. I don't know if you know that.
Jumpa lagi. Lagi.
Jumpa lagi.
Yes, jumpa lagi.
Jumpa lagi. Thank you so much, for coming on the show. And please, if you are here and you've not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and also give us a thumb up on this video so that it can also reach other people who want to learn more about Malaysia. So I hope we'll have more fun to do other things together. And until then, see you in the next video.